Good morning to you all, friends. We continue our wonderful painting journey on bringing this diorama to a close. It's been a while. Coming up on 12 months since I started it, actually. So I'm hoping we'll be finished before then. But it's just been a hectic 12 months. But it feels like things have finally stabilised. And because of that stability, I've felt enthusiasm. A bit of devastating news this week with Wheel of Time getting cancelled. That is devastating. Absolutely. I was shattered when I read that. The last season was absolutely glorious. And that is now the last season of The Wheel of Time. So I think I might get into some audiobook rereads or re-listens of The Wheel of Time. And listen to that story again. So yeah, the diorama is progressing very well. I'll just turn that palette cam exposure down a little. Nope, that's too much. Yeah, we've done a lot of work on the base between last weekend and now, to the point where getting close to doing a resin pour. I have to paint the skeletal horse guy before I can do that. That's what's next model to paint. I've got it right here. See, I'm getting pretty excited now because I think it's just started to hit that point where it's become good again. Maybe. Because you have that phase at the start when you're crunching ideas and you're just doing stuff and it looks good. You're like, this is going to be awesome. Then you go through the ugly phase where you spend a lot of time on it and it just looks worse and worse and worse. until you finally click, and then it starts to look cool. So this guy, Ogre Guy, he sits quite close to the back of the scene, tucked under a little bit of stuff. So he's not a main character, as it were, in the story. He's just like an ancillary model that was in the Kickstarter that needed a location. So he's in there, but he's not a big component. So we're going to focus on making sure that the important details are painted well and the unimportant details are just painted. I might show off a couple of the other models I've finished. Well, finished is such a relative term, but yeah, skeleton number 1. I've actually got the diorama set up beside me, and I've got the models in their spots. Skeleton number 2. So what I'm doing right now is taking them out, and that's bad. Skeleton number 3. He just needs this side of his banner fixed. Skeleton number 4. So that's 4 skeletons, all in various stages of completion, but pretty close. And yeah, so now we're doing this guy. What else have I done? I've done the ghost and the necromancer. So yeah, I've got 3 models left to paint for this bottom half of the scene. They're the 3 biggest ones, and they're the 3 maybe not focal points for the one I'm about to do next, which is the skeletal horse rider. But certainly the guy on the mounted steed riding across the bridge is a focal point. So this character, he stands at the back, tucked under the foliage. So I want to catch some blue light from the left side because the underground cavern I'm doing in a very blue light, but then I want to have some, I think some orange light from her staff. Maybe I'll do green light as well, just keep the theme. That's the model I'm saving till last, I think. The big chick on the dragon. Although I may do her next and save the horse dude till last because I want to pour resin on the base of the left side as well. A lot of resin pour. A lot of resin. I haven't actually put this guy on his base, on the base in a while, so should probably do that soon. Always important to measure how they're looking on their base in their location. I've usually had someone comment by now, and a few months ago I did a full stream for about 2 hours and I didn't get a single comment, and I was like, what is happening? This is some bullshit. I must be boring as. Which I know I am, but I thought I'd done something wrong. Anyway, it turned out that I'd clicked start recording instead of start streaming, and so I'd basically streamed for 2 hours talking to nobody. Thinking that there was just nobody that was interested. But I did the full stream and I thought, well, that was demoralising. Hello to you, Tea Time with Toby. But yeah, the lesson that I learnt from that experience, number one, check to make sure you click the right button, which I have. But number two is, that's okay. You don't need to, because I'd be painting anyway. I'd be sitting down to paint and having a wonderful time, even if I wasn't streaming, so. Pat Drawers, welcome. No, it's not World War Hulk, but that's a good reference actually. It does have some similarities in terms of the color palette that I've chosen. But no, this is just a dude from Chimera. He's like some ogre orc guy. World War Hulk it is. That's what we'll call him. Tip Top Baker. Hello, friend. Been a while. Lurk away. Enjoy painting a few Necrons. Toby, I think that is just a byproduct of practice. Because when you paint a lot, it just becomes second nature. I have this little article that I wrote about how to improve as a miniature painter, the psychology side of things. You know, we talk all the time about, hey, this is what you do for color choice and etc. But the real key to improvement is in the psychological side of why you paint and what your goals are. And one of the things I talk about in that article is a skill ceiling and a knowledge ceiling. And I think most people have a pretty clear focus on skill ceiling because they think that they need to get better through knowledge to improve their painting. When in actuality, I think most people actually need to spend time just painting, and that is where they'll gain the most improvement. So, is it a mermaid month for the internet art people? Is it? I know October is mermaids, mermay or something like that. Yeah. Hey, Top. I don't think I do have a mermaid model. Maybe I'll finish this project in time to start a mermaid. We're not far away for some new Kingdom Death content, Top. I think it's going to be shipping next month. Wanderers and Pariah and Red Witches. Is that it? Gatherism. Yeah, I'm excited for the Red Witches. They're going to be great to paint. Well, behind me I have a cabinet, and you can't actually see it in this shot, but I'll turn the lights on. Hey Alexa, let there be light. She didn't hear me. Hey Alexa, let there be light. You couldn't see it at all. Well, that's a shame. The cabinet's behind me. And I've got all my King of Death models on display, and I've got a whole shelf ready for the next lot of King of Death. Thank you, Sir Blame. Hey Alexa, lights off. I do have the ability to move shelves up and down. So there is a very big shelf down the bottom intended to include the Ivory Dragon. If it ever eventuates. I am just finishing Andor Season 1. I decided to rewatch it to get back into the vibe. And on a rewatch, it is even better than I remembered. Really strong. Really strong. So I'm looking forward to watching Season 2 over the next week or so. And then how can it be better? It is so good. I believe you. I believe you. Alright, so let's go some of this. It's our God-forsaken right to be loved, love, 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 love. Oh, but I won't hesitate no more, no more. It cannot wait. I'm yours. Open up your mind and see like me. Open up your plans and damn, you're free. Music's one of those funny things where when it's really, really bad, you notice. When it's really, really good, you notice. But if it's just okay, it sort of just fades into the background. Because like when I was watching Game of Thrones, obviously Ramin Djawadi, his his soundtrack in some of those seasons and some of those episodes was just unbelievable. The Light of the Seven, the ending scene from season 6, epic. How goes the painting top? Have you been plugging away much recently? Or has life taken over a bit? Idiot. Good. Excited to hear that, mate. Let's do an airbrush. Hey Alexa, airbrush on. Might need to bring you closer. Hey Alexa, airbrush on. Yeah, so I use 3 sort of paint ranges, I guess. Vallejo, I use both the Game Air and the Model Air. So that. I use AK quite a lot. And then I also use Chimera. And I guess contrast paints. I guess I use whatever. Use a wide variety. Ultroth. Thank you for the raid. Sino Silver, welcome. Welcome to the stream. I paint toy soldiers. Don't do a great job of it, but I do a big job of it. This is the type of thing I normally do. indeed. So yes, I am working on another one of those right now. Another one of those big projects, which is where this guy's from. And that's pretty much all I do. I also play board games. Thank you, mate. I'm sure there's links to my Instagram and stuff if you want to see some of my other toys, but don't feel obligated. Just enjoy. I've been getting right into home automation recently. I've done so much crazy stuff with my home automation. So much pointless stuff too. I can turn on the air conditioning in the room now. Just with a voice, with a word. Alexa, airbrush off. That seems pointless, but there's actually a very good reason for it. It's one of the few ones that actually makes sense to me. My airbrush compressor used to sit on my desk right beside me, and that was very, very good, but it was also very loud. And so it would also make the table vibrate, so it's now underneath the table. It's much harder to hear, but unfortunately it's also much harder for me to switch it on and off. And so I've just used Alexa to do that. Did you? Yeah. Yeah, I got 3D printed organizers for like most of my board games now, and the amount I've spent on those, I should definitely have bought a 3D printer by now. Alright, I have to stay focused and remember the most important element of this paint on this particular guy, which is where he sits in the diorama, and he's going to be very low focus, so I need to ensure that I'm spending the requisite amount of time on this creature. So that's one of the reasons why I haven't gotten into it, because I just don't have the time to fuck around with stuff. And I know quite a few people who do a really good job, like a really good job, resin printing or filament printing or whatever it may be. And it's a time thing. Like as I get older, everything now in my life, I question, how much time does that take me to do? And if the answer is it takes me X amount of time, and it's effectively cheaper for me to pay someone else to do it and spend my time painting models. Not that I'm thinking, yeah, I'm gonna get money out of my time painting models. It's just I'd rather spend my time doing that and enjoying it than fucking around with something like 3D printing. So, but that's just how I factor everything now. How much of my time does that take up, and am I willing to devote that time, or am I better off paying someone to do that and using my time elsewhere? And as I get older, the more time and there's obviously a financial component to it, right? Like I'm financially in a position to be able to do that more so than I was when I was younger, which is, one hopes, the case for most people. But the value shifted. What did Tony Stark say to his dad in Endgame? Something like, no amount of money ever brought back a second of time. It's a good lesson. I lost a part from this guy's helmet, and so I resculpted that. Andromeda Creates! Welcome, Andromeda. Everyone that just joined. I'll get to show this video again. I showed it 5 minutes ago, but this is what I do here on this channel. I make crazy big projects and dioramas like this one. Maybe I'll show off a couple more. So I have a couple more videos loaded and ready to go. So yes, I make crazy projects like this. That's a scene, scenes from King Arthur and the Round Table, Knights of the Round Table. There's one. Here's another one I did. This one's got music, so enjoy the music. It also winds up. Yes, you'll be able to see both of those in Virtuos. And fortunate, maybe this one as well. The one that I'm currently working on. If not, that's absolutely fine. Alright, we switch to the detailed brush ready. I've finally been able to sit down and paint, and actually it's been very enjoyable and relaxing, and I've just felt back in my creative flow. G'day Stevie Seal. And that wasn't the case for a while. Felt very disjointed. Top, the big dude on the horse that's in this diorama, you did a paint job of that, if I recall. Anything I need to look out for? Because I think I'm going to save that one for last. Orbitus, yes, and that's the last figure to paint. It's the biggest too. Well, not quite the biggest. There's the big chick on the dragon, but yeah, Orbitus. Yeah. Yeah. I'm really getting into painting non-metallic metal with rusty bits. I'm really starting to enjoy the freedom. It's just like painting Nurgle. Like you can just do anything. It looks dirty and messy, and it's the best. pictures I didn't want to see that brought back memories. You were happy now. And now it's cold night light. This don't even feel like life. I don't have the only one who was there for me. Are these metal? I don't think they're metal, but yeah, I haven't seen it. I haven't watched many of the more recent ones, but I believe you. They've all been good. Bum, ba, bum, ba, bum, ba, bum, ba, bum, ba, bum, bum, bum. I was talking to someone the other day about film cinemas, because a friend of mine was like, "Oh, we should go see the new Thunderbolts movie," and I said, "Yeah, we could go see the new Thunderbolts movie, or I could wait 3 weeks, and I could pay $30, which is less than I pay for a movie ticket, and I could watch that in the comfort of my own home on my giant TV." And that's the end of the story. Or I could even wait 3 months, which is what I've done with Captain America Brave New World, which releases on Disney Plus Wednesday. And I can watch it on Disney Plus. And that's it. That's the end of the story. It's very hard to justify going to the film cinemas to see a film now. I really struggle with it. Which I know creates a problem of, well, if I want to see cool films be made, you need to support them. I think that's the answer. Yeah, it's the big spectacles, the ones that you want to see at the cinema on the big screen with it. Like the one thing that my home theatre setup doesn't have is great sound quality, and something like Dune, I think you'd really notice. Which is fine, top. But how often are you actually looking at those peripheries of the film, and how often are you just focused on the central shot? that link going to prove? I'm just trying to think what now would get me to go to the cinema. I'm not sure. Yeah, that part I believe. And it's so cool that he does it all. I find that excellent. Anyway, I am gonna just rehash something I talked about at the very start when I didn't have too many people. How devastating is Wheel of Time? Gone. I am absolutely shattered about that. Yeah, that's true, Top. That's true. Just switching the phone off and Beedaloo. 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 There's just so much content to consume right now that studios have to really be picky and choosy about what they make. But I rewatched Shadow and Bone in the last few weeks, and it got cancelled after its second season, and it was a very, very good show. And Wheel of Time's now been cancelled after its third. Yeah, it's really, really good, right? Cancelled, boom. Now, I've only watched the first 3 episodes of Rings of Power, didn't draw me in, so I can only go off my judgment of those 3 episodes. It, in my opinion, was not as good as The Wheel of Time, certainly season 3. Season 2, season 1, maybe. But it's been continued. So Yeah, it's upsetting. Okay, that's good. Same can be said of Wheel of Time. Yeah, look, if you only watch the first season or the second season, even then, it certainly wasn't. It was B grade television. But the third season, they really hit their stride, and I think it was actually just out and out good television, not just good fantasy television, but good television. And a lot of that came in from the writers' strike. Their first season, they had to basically stop filming with a few episodes to go, and then one of the actors didn't come back, and they had to try and replace his role, and everything changed. They had to rewrite the whole final stuff. So obviously that doesn't impact the acting in the early season, which was pretty ordinary. But it got better. She turned me into a newt. Well, they didn't really with Mythic Quest, did they? That's also on my list to watch season 4. Didn't they do some change to Mythic Quest? Cancel at the last second? Yeah, right. By the way, I've enjoyed Shrinking. I think you might have recommended that. We watched that a few weeks ago. It was great. I've got so many shows to watch. I've got a list of shows that I've got to watch. Severance season 2. Got to watch Silo. Got to watch Andor season 2. Foundation. Yeah, I've loved Andor season 1, so I'm really keen to get into it. I haven't watched The Mandalorian at all. I've watched 0 Mandalorians. But I watched that Ahsoka series, and I've never watched any of the other things that she's in. Like, she's in the cartoon Rebels or Clone Wars or something, and I've never watched any of that. The Mandalorian will break my heart. Is that because it's bad, or is it because it's devastating in a positive way? Right. Well, I have seen one scene from The Mandalorian, and it's a scene right at the end of season 2, which I'm sure I'm not spoiling anything for anyone when I talk about this. There's a certain character who comes back. I've watched that scene. And that's the extent of my Mandalorian experience. is the general consensus that Star Wars is bad now? Okay. Yes, I'm not too concerned about what other people think about stuff. I like it, and that's enough for me. But unfortunately, as with Wheel of Time, uh, what the general consensus is actually matters, because there was a lot of people who felt Wheel of Time was an absolute betrayal of the highest order, akin to Judas Iscariot. And I think that in many ways contributed to the fact that it didn't get renewed. So even if I liked it, which I did, it's irrelevant because it's gone, because the general consensus is that it's not. So I do like to pay attention to what other people think, just so I don't get too invested in stuff. Now I've heard that Andor season 2, again, I haven't watched it yet, very excited to do so, so try not to spoil me anything. It ties directly into Rogue One. Yes, that's sick. So I'll be able to watch Andor season 2, then rewatch Rogue One. How good. Oh, can't wait. Good. Good stuff. Hey Plank, are you a real music buff, Top? You like play cello or something? Is that right? Clarinet. Hmm. Knew it started with a C. Yeah, I had a friend who was big into music, wanted to be a film score guy. He played clarinet. He studied at the Manhattan School of Music. Always liked his insights into music stuff, just as I like yours. Every time I stayed at his house, he'd wake us up by playing the Jurassic Park theme song on clarinet. I showed Emma a trailer last night of a movie that we're going to watch today, and it's one she's never seen, and it's one that is probably in my top 10 movies of all time. but I don't watch it very often. But it's a film called Shutter Island. How cool is it that I get to show Mossy Shutter Island and she's never seen it before? Such a good movie. The Pacific Rim theme song is the one that gets me. Was that ramen? That's cool. I did not know that. That makes me happy to know. Ramen Jawadi. That's awesome. Alrighty, we're starting to see this guy come alive, so I reckon I might put him on the diorama and see how aspects of this look in the spot that he goes. I'll tell you another one that actually I'm really impressed by the theme song for that is Wonder Woman. The Wonder Woman theme song, when she comes on, it's that I don't know, whatever it is, but it's awesome. always liked Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. Alright, I'm just going to take this guy away, so please amuse yourself with this skeleton guy and just check him out. Yeah, how can I make him stay there? Yeah, there you go. Skeleton guy. Woo! I'm going to put this guy on my diorama, which is just over to the left. It'd be very hard for me, so I apologise, to shift my camera around to bring this whole thing. What did I just do? Oh no, that's fine. Okay, he's in good shape there. Needs some grass underneath his feet, and definitely need to do more of that. But that's pretty good actually. Okay. We're all good. We're all good. Haven't done a bad job of positioning the highlights and the interests areas. Just need to get some earthy brown tones happening, but they can't be warm, they need to be colder. About 2 years ago on stream, I was shaking a paint pot like that, and I lost my grip on it, and it flew back behind me. It was incredibly amusing to me at the time. My boys are otherwise engaged. Sometimes you see stuff like this and you think, is that leather or is it like metal? But if it was metal, would it be bent like that? And if that's leather, then should this be leather as well? Always tough times. If everything goes to plan, we will be bringing this diorama to a close, I reckon, in about 2 to 3 weeks. I've got really very little work to do on the actual diorama base now. I've got 2 models left to paint, 3 models left to paint, and then just the fun assembly and putting everything together component. And that's an exciting feeling. It's sort of been hanging over my head's not the right way to describe it, because I haven't felt any pressure or guilt or anything like that with this project, which I think is a great reflection of some growth, personal growth. Because I feel like if I was feeling guilty about it, it would have been finished, but it would have been much worse. Does anyone know a good place to buy art prints? I want to get a few cool pieces of artwork for my new house that I'm living in. And it'd be cool to get some fantasy art. I know I could Google it, and I will, but I just thought if anyone had any rock solid recommendations for where they've purchased cool art. Yeah, you know, just like, well, Vallejo, Boris Vallejo, Larry Elmore, just anything really. Oh, that's a good call. I didn't think of that. Oh, I'm not actually sure if I'm allowed to show this stuff yet, but I might just show this real quick. Don't tell anyone if I get in trouble. I've got this guy to paint for the new Kickstarter. Yeah. It is nice, isn't it? Yeah, I've got to go and look at my emails and stuff and read because yeah, I'm supposed to do some stuff at a specific time to coincide with the Kickstarter, which is all good. But I just haven't. I'm not sure when that is. Am I what? Was I whispering? Yeah, I was talking about you. I was saying how pretty you look today. I was saying you're an Ogre. Deplorable. Oh, excellent. Thank you. Betroides. I might just open that up and have a Bo Peep soon. Topulus comes up with the goods as well. Mossy, come and have a look at some of these artworks. We're going to buy some of these for our walls. What do you think of these ones? Is that a yes?
Yes.
Are they a yes? They're a no. Okay. Oh, these are cool. Old friend. That's nice. Why you so shy? That bird. Oh, what do you like? Do you like these little donkeys? Interesting. We've been joined by the newest member of the family in this room as well, haven't we, Emma?
The bumlicker.
The bumlicker. You cold?
Yeah.
Is that why you're walking around?
Yeah.
So funny. Old friends, why you so shy? Ain't like you to hold back or hide from the light. I hate to turn up out of the blue uninvited, but I couldn't stay away. I couldn't fight it. That's some classic Mossy right there. Doesn't even realise it. The bumlicker. Where's me ivory at? And we do need some black. Is there a colour that I use more than black? Answer, no. I buy more pots of black paint than any other paint. Probably any other paint put together, actually. Oh, awesome. That's cool. Yeah, look, I love people that support artists' artwork. I think that's great. It's one of the coolest things we can do with our money when we get older. That bark means that she wants attention. I reckon she's coming in here to do the same thing to me. Hello? You alright? You good? Hey, you alright? Good girl. We're gonna set you up an Ellie cam soon, aren't we? Ah, which one? The video. Yeah, that's cool. Was it spinning? Did they have it set up? I've never been there, so I don't know if they've set it up to spin. It should just plug into the wall. So. Okay, cool. Yeah, that one was the one that sort of gave me the confidence. Confidence is not the right word. it showed me that I could do pretty much anything I wanted. When it comes to a hobby perspective, I can do anything. There's nothing I can't do. That's a cool feeling. It's not perfect. I'd learn quite a few lessons from that. And I think each diorama since then has been successively better, but maybe hasn't had quite the same amount of passion. Passion's maybe again the wrong word, because I do feel passionate about projects such as this one. I feel like it was just time. I felt like I've got to spend X amount of time on this project. Hello, Furrow Roach. I'm doing well. How are you? Aha. Bit of tiredness on a Sunday. Yeah, Mossy's been making me get up at 5 o'clock and go for walks. And it's terrible. So I too am perpetually tired now. Oh. Yeah, 8-hour drives are no fun. CanCon, when I do Crimson Brush, that's a 14-hour drive, followed by 4 days of craziness, followed by another 14-hour drive. So that's an exhausting couple of days. So I imagine you feel quite similar to how I feel around then. So I empathise with you. Oh, yes. Been able to get this guy looking pretty good pretty quick. And for his positioning in the diorama, I reckon this will just about do. Oh, it gets very exciting when you get close to the end of a project. Not so close that you just want to rip through it and get it all done, and not just far enough away where you're like, oh, there's still so much to do. But there's a little magic window in between those two where you're like, this is the best. It's going to be finished so soon and I'm so happy. Alright, I think we just need to do some little black lining, and then maybe we'll highlight a few other elements, but I reckon we'll call that good. So yeah, let's have a look how he matches up with these guys. It's pretty good. I'm lost without you. Yeah, I do need to just tweak a few little things on that, so that's fine. Broken sword, that's you. There's lots of little things I do to try and make my life easier that I've learned from each diorama. This is one, I just named the back of them, so it'd be a little bit easier to know how to put them back on their things. In looking at the models on the base, one of the observations I made about this particular guy was that this side of the banner was very, very evident, so I need to just tweak that. I'm thinking about doing some glowing runes on their banners, because there's a couple of sculptures with banners. That would be nice, I think, but maybe not necessary. Morning, Craigsog. How are you, mate? Ah, Crag Dog, large and in charge. Get amongst it, son. You keep those boyos and girlos and friendos in line, alright? Mossy, when you're touching my soul in the candlelight. Mossy. Mossy, when you lose control in the heat of the night. She turned her own music on so she can't hear me. I have to close my door so we can't hear that. Played a board game last night. Coffee Traders. Crazy game. Rock solid. 8 out of 10. Maybe even a 9. I'm having a great year for games. Every time I think, oh, I've played most games, there's nothing that can surprise me. I play a game that surprises me. The number one for this year was a game called Station Fall. Just incredible game. If you're not in it for love, I'm out of here. Yeah, I played a lot of Ashes Reborn the last few weeks, month. Coffee Traders. I've got an app that I track all the games I've played. There's always a bigger fish. You got my phone on me? I do. Let's have a look. Amazon, I don't want you to recommend me a new pressure cooker, but thank you. Alright, let's look at my insights for this year. About 142 plays with 11 players. Played 20 times with Tobes. Played a lot of Ashes Reborn, Hadrian's Wall, Leviathan Wilds, Kinfight Chronicle. Look at all the stars for new games. So many new games. The little yellow star tells you it's a new game. Elder Scrolls, Station Fall, Dungeon Alliance, Dragon Eclipse, Ticket to Ride, Kinfire, Uprising, Defenders of the Wild, Underwater Cities, great. Mosaic, Hand of Fate. I'm going to be filming some Hand of Fate very soon. I'm going to borrow that from Darren. Great stuff. Top class. That's just this year, mate. My all-time's astronomical. It's my other passion. this is my main passion, but got a lot of room in my heart for both. Not a lot left over for Mossy. Unlucky. Alrighty. What am I going to do about your rusty sword, my guy? How do I make your sword glowing green? Yeah, let's do that. Let's make your sword glow green. This is a white ink, in case you're wondering. Not in it for love, I'm out of here. Hello, Ghoul Studio. Goes well. How do you go? What a wonderful way to spend the day. I too hope to spend my day in a similar fashion. Alright, I need to just, that was another thing that I observed, was that I'll put you back on your base too, little guy. Hello, L3 Astian, or Liastian, I'm not sure, but welcome. Bastion, there you go. I'm not that smart, sorry. I just need to do the fur. This is another little area that I noticed when I put this guy on the diorama base, that he is... Thank you, mate. He's from a big diorama that I'm doing, so... Well, if you'd like to see one, Craigs, I'd be happy to show you one. I'll even let you pick which one I show you. Neon Nights it is. It's a pretty cool diorama, isn't it? I can try, Bastion. That's all good, mate. Happy to help. Noob questions or any other question at all. Hit me. So which box did you get? Which model kit? Cool. And what colour do you want to paint them? Hello, Art of Mike Disney. Welcome, friends. Just working on a few aspects. Yes, all is well. Hope the same for you, mate. Just working on a few little pieces for my next big diorama. It is a very nice mini. You are absolutely spot on with that. It's been great to paint. Well, Bastian, it really depends on what type of painting you're planning on doing. Citadel make a range called the contrast paints, and they come in these little pots, and they're kind of like a diluted, I'm actually about to use one now so you can see, a diluted colour that you place over a white undercoat, and it will create some immediate shading for you. And if you're using those, there's a colour called Pterodon Turquoise, and that would be the colour that I would recommend. That or Achillean Green. Those two colours have a very nice blackish greenish sort of colour. So I would use those. That would be the colour that I would be steering you towards. And I think contrast paints are a fantastic way to paint figures and learn how to paint figures. So alright, let's go through the boyos that we've got. They do need a light primer, which is your starting coat colour. Alright, so we've got this little guy climbing up out of the ground. We've got this guy holding his sword, waving his banner, and I'll keep tweaking that later on when that dries. We've got this guy holding his banner. We've got this big orc boy. Thanks, Estenis. We got this guy. Yeah, I might just tweak a little bit of his clothes, actually. I'll grab the necromancer as well. Yeah, I have a, I don't know, how would you describe my style? I don't know. I do lots of different things, but yeah, diorama stuff is what I'm working on at the moment. So yeah, I tend to have a very saturated, intense colour palette, but with a very rough and sketchy style. Shit style is a good way of describing it, Cracksock. One of your best, mate, one of your best. And this one, which we did on stream a couple of weeks ago as well. Last weekend? Was that last weekend? Oh, I've been going like an animal. Yeah, I did this last Sunday. How cool's that? So yeah, diorama's ticking along nicely. Yeah, do you want to see the good guys? See the good guys? This guy. Thank you, mate. So yes, they're all a part of this big diorama. I don't really have an easy way to show you the diorama, but I can do this. This is the diorama. This is the size of it, and that's only part of it because there's also a big church that sits here. So it's big. It's a big boy. They are 75mm scale, yes. 75mm. I've definitely got a photo of it. What do you want me to do? Swap my camera? Yeah, 75mm the best. Yeah, the diorama is looking really awesome. I'm really happy with how it's looking, actually. All the stuff I've done over the last few days has made a really big difference to the actual base. Like the actual overall look of it. So, yeah, the next steps, the next few models will be... Yeah, okay. Alright, I'll just do it. I'll just do the fucking thing that I didn't want to do. Just gonna set it up on the camera. It's gonna take me a few minutes, so just let me have a second or two, alright? Just give me some time. You can see how it looks all together. Achelian green. Achelian. A-K-H-E. So this will probably need to go up a little bit. And then twist this way. You can see my camera mount. S-Dennis, I started when I was 13, 14, which is quite a long time ago now. Quite a long time ago. But I was just doing army painting and stuff. I started serious display painting in about 2014, 2015. Serious display painting stuff. Serious business. Okay, I can't really even see how that looks on the camera. Are we zoomed out as we can get? We are. Alright, let's add some more light to this. Almost 100 years ago. There we go. That one goes there. I'll just turn my face off for a minute. So if you mix those colours with the black that they make, which is called Black Templar, I reckon you will have the exact colour that you are looking for. Alright, so this guy slots in here. Somewhere. There he goes. I'll turn off the palette cam as well so we can see the picture. which we actually still can't see the whole picture. Okay, this little skelly is the one we'll spend a fair bit of time on. He's one of the most forward presenting models in the diorama. He goes right here. This guy, whose name is Banner Sword, he goes here. I just got to find the right hole. There it is. Is it? No, there's his hole. There we go. Necromancer's pretty straightforward. So he goes here. Now I messed up slightly with him because of his sword. He's not going to sit perfectly. So Cragzog, working beautifully. Working beautifully. Climbing up out of the ground. And is that the right hole for you, mate? Yes, it is. I think we want him like that. Cool, so now this guy who's riding a horse, Horsey sits right down here. Sort of there-ish. He's riding his horse. And then this next horse guy, who's ginormous, by the way. I'm gonna do the big dragon. I'm gonna have a look at the big dragon. Big horse guy goes here. Look at my horse is amazing. Give it a look. Woo, it tastes just like raisins. So that one's cool, and that one's gonna be a really big focal point for the right hand side. I think we are going to need to put a small tree there. I wasn't planning on doing it, but I might need to. Now this guy, this Bobby Dazzler, have a bo peep of this big fella. I don't reckon you'll even be able to see this, but I've got to put it in. I haven't put it in for ages. I'm just giving you too much content at the moment. That's working great. I love it. Oh, this is actually looking sick. So what do I do about that there? That's just going to be filled with water. Splashes, droplets. Yeah, and that's the diorama. Oh, sorry, that's not the diorama. That's one half of it. Here's the church. I forgot about this bit. Here's the church. It's very large and in charge, and it goes right here. And I need to figure out a lot of things with how that church is going to sit there. I don't think there's a lot of... I think the difference that is just the choice in how you paint it, the standard to which you paint it. I've seen wargaming figures that were painted to an incredible standard, and I've seen display figures that were painted like shit. Just go and have a look at Craigslist's fucking account if you want to see some. I'll show you this bit over here. Yeah, we'll put all these ones up. So yeah, I think I'm going to need to put a little tree up here too. Maybe like an overhanging tree. She floats here. And then this guy. Where's his foothold? There. And then this guy's here. Somewhere here. I've had a really bad reaction with some of the varnish I've used. It's turned white. It's turned some of the stuff white, and that's quite annoying. You're a shot, motherfucker, and nobody likes you. Shot! Look how short the guy is, and it stops you from falling in for relationships. That'll work too, Bastion. It's probably not got the that greenish tinge that you were looking for, but it'll work. There it is. Well, I don't think it's the varnish. I think it's twofold. It's the fact that the varnish has reacted with some pigment that I used. So I used pigment, and it doesn't like it. You're heading off, Moss. See ya. And then the other component is the foam. I didn't seal this well. And so it's had a reaction with some. Ellie, come here. Hey, come here. Hey, you're a good girl. Stay here. Oh, she's not real happy about that. So that is the scene. That is the whole scene in its entirety. She's unhappy about Mossy going. It is going to work okay. We definitely need a tree here. Maybe I was thinking about doing a tree sort of growing here outwards like that. A gnarly, twisty tree. That might work. Yeah. I got a few issues that I'm trying to resolve for right now. See if you can see my face so you can hear me talking. Hello, friends. Hello. Yeah, I got a few issues I'm trying to solve for right now. So the first is this bit here. I don't really know what to put there. What I need for it to be is something that will just stay there and allow this to come on and off. Because I don't think I can send the whole thing glued together. It's too big. That is a brilliant idea, Plankwalker. That is a brilliant idea. Oh, that'll work, hey? Maybe I'll just build a little column, a little thing there, and then do I do the same here? No, I do the tree there, surely. I've never used that one bastion, so I'm not sure if that will work. Yeah, I think the tree will go there. That's what I say, mate, all in all. All in all, you just stay another brick in the wall. Okay, that is a great idea. It does close off a bit. I suppose you're going to be looking at it quite highly there, so that will work, I reckon. Yeah, that's a good idea, and maybe I will do this. So these are from a game called Oathsworn, and I probably shouldn't use these, but because they use them in the game, but these are just too good. The sizing feels right. The colour palette is like identical to what I need it to be. I reckon that's a goer. Yep, I reckon that's a goer. Well done, all and sundry. Well done. That's a great plan. Whoever came up with that suggestion, you are a genius. And what I might do then is just like sand this section down so that it slots into there. Oof, it's a good plan. It's a good plan. So how do I make this area work? I just have no idea how I make this area. I think I've just got to put some rocks and stuff there. Alright, well, this is starting to come together, and that is pretty exciting, I have to say. Oof. So should I'm trying to figure out if I should glue that bit down. It'll just make it a nightmare to fucking transport. Like, I'll need to build a giant box. The box is going to be unshippable by regular post. They need to be couriered. Which is... But I reckon Hyperborea was like this, but Hyperborea probably wasn't that tall. If I glue it down, it just makes my life a lot easier. I can build that all up and then that's all done. Yeah, I'm just sorry friends, we're going to finish up pretty much now anyway, but yeah, I just need to decide if this is something I glued down, and that will make a lot of stuff easy, or if I don't glue it down. I don't think I'm going to glue it down because there's still like a fair bit of work I want to paint on this that will just polish that up a bit. And then I think I want to do some like sunbeams coming out of her like that. I don't want to have to paint that while this is all done. You have no idea how hard it is painting stuff while it's attached to the diorama. It's absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts. There you go. You can have a look at this side again. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the key. If I cut all this stuff and then I build a little section that kind of is like an angle like this, so that can just like slide forwards in, that will work okay. And then what I can do is build the tree from here to extend out like that, and then I don't have to put a tree there because that's a gravestone and that doesn't make much logical sense. So yes, I need to build a tree. I need to build a wire tree and attach it to that. Cool. Maybe it's going to be a few more weeks. Maybe it's going to be a few more weeks. All right, I'm wrapping up. It's going to be a great project when it's all finished, but we're still a little way off. So, hope you all have a fantastic week. I'm back tomorrow night for Party Monday. We're going to paint this horse guy. That's who we're going to be painting tomorrow. This guy. So, that's it. I'll catch you all then. Should we try and raid someone? Is there anyone worth raiding? I haven't done a raid in a long time. I really feel bad. It makes me a very bad Twitch streamer. You should really look after your friends. Stream manager. Raid channel. Who should we raid? There's a dude called Blissful Badger, which is building 100 Abyssal Chaos Dwarves. Let's go raid that.
That needed to be filled? It's a fun game. I play Warhammer 40,000 and I play Age of Sigmar. Fun. Do you like